Tonight on NewsVision, one airline with a hub in Miami cancels thousands of flights and caused chaos at airports across the country.
Learn more about what the company says caused the flight delays and
Breaking tonight on NewsVision. The ASTROWORLD concert tragedy has claimed another life. We'll tell you what the death toll is now and what rapper Travis Scott is saying. Plus, one marathon in South Florida is raising money for cancer. We'll take you to the event.
And I wanted to use it as a platform to help fundraise for these two families whose children are both fighting cancer.
And later on, we'll tell you what had caused the massive fish kills in Key Biscayne over the last couple of years.
The fish kill that we saw in 2020 was the largest fish kill that Miami-Dade has ever experienced.
These stories and a lot more on tonight's show. NewsVision starts right now.
hello and
Breaking
welcome to
tonight on
NewsVision.
NewsVision.
I'm Sabrina
The
Souza.
ASTROWORLD
And I'm Jackson Dill. Thank
tragedy
you for
has
joining
claimed
us and
another
happy
life.
Veterans Day.
We'll tell you what the
Another person has died from injuries sustained during the stampede at the ASTROWORLD Festival in Houston, Texas last Friday. The death toll from the disaster is now 9. The concert was supposed to be a fun night out for the crowds of 50,000 concert goers. Instead, it turned deadly. We warn you that some of the images you are about to see are disturbing. As tragedy unfolded at the ASTROWORLD Festival, the concert that turned into a life and death situation for many people in attendance, documents now reveal that just minutes after the concert was brought to an end, the Houston Fire Department upgraded its response to a mass casualty level 2, meaning up to 50 people could need hospitalization.
Timelines are a major focus of the investigation right now.
Houston's police chief says investigators are working to nail down the timeline of events that triggered the concert to turn deadly.
They have viewed hours of video from the air, from the ground, and gathered statements from numerous witnesses and victims. And there's still more to come.
The police chief also says getting to the bottom of things could take a while.
This type of investigation is going to take weeks, possibly months.
And that also finding out how the 9 victims died will take time, but vows to leave no stone unturned.
Autopsies and toxicology tests, it takes some time before that's completed. Understand we won't have the causes or manner of death right away. Our department owes it to those families, just as I said, to look at every aspect, how, why it happened.
Rapper Travis Scott broke his silence on Sunday in a video posted to his Instagram story, saying he will cover all funeral costs for the victims and is looking to offer mental health resources for concert goers. According to Scott, he is cooperating with Houston police in the investigations. The festival organizer company Live Nation and Scott now face multiple lawsuits.
8-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse took the stand on Wednesday in Kenosha, Wisconsin, defending himself and pleading not guilty. The teenager is charged with intentional homicide for shooting 3 people and killing 2 of them during chaotic protests last summer, protesting police shootings. In trial, he took the stand in tears, saying it was self-defense.
I intended to stop the people who were attacking me.
By killing them?
I did what I had to do to stop the person who was attacking me.
By killing them?
2 of them passed away, but I stopped the threat from attacking me.
Also charged with 5 felonies and a misdemeanor. The trial is ongoing, but if convicted, Rittenhouse could face a life sentence.
And after more than 20 months, vaccinated people from around the world are now welcome to travel to the U.S. Former President Donald Trump declared a travel ban last year as COVID-19 cases grew. Now that cases have leveled off in the U.S. and global vaccination numbers have risen, the U.S. has opened its borders to visitors from 33 countries. That includes travelers by land coming from Canada or Mexico. Before this move, foreigners were able to travel to other countries, but not the U.S. But now this change is opening the door for people to reunite with loved ones.
I'm visiting family and friends here in New York. That's it, no longer on a screen. It's going to be hugs, it's going to be in person, catching up, a lot of stories to tell.
Adults hoping to gain entry to the U.S. must show proof of vaccination and a negative COVID test within 3 days of traveling. Experts say this change will boost the struggling economy and tourism industry.
SpaceX launched its 4th astronaut mission to space today. The rocket, known as Crew 3, is carrying 4 people and took off from Cape Canaveral, Florida. The astronauts were set to take off on Halloween, but weather conditions delayed the original launch. Crew 3 will spend the next 6 months at the International Space Station. The launch is the 25th out of Florida this year and the 24th for SpaceX.
Researchers have found a new way to predict COVID outbreaks in UM residential halls up to 5 days before they happen. Twice a week, a team tests wastewater from UM's dorms to see if there are traces of the coronavirus in the water. The team sends the samples to multiple labs for testing. If the virus is detected, students are required to be tested the next day and then 5 days later. And with funding from the NIH, the research team has been able to make groundbreaking progress.
That the tools that we currently have now, are mind-blowing. We didn't have these a decade ago. All of this, the ability to go and look at a sewage sample, which is so hard to work with. It has so much other stuff in it, gunk in it, and to be able to not only tease out the SARS-CoV-2 or the COVID virus, but the variants, and it's just amazing.
The team recently published their work in a scientific journal and continue to conduct research twice a week.
The holiday season is right around the corner, and one organization on campus is making sure that everyone in the Miami-Dade community has a jolly season. Every year, the Butler Center hosts the Holiday Hurricane Gift Drive, where students and faculty donate new toys and board games for children and elders in the Miami-Dade community. The Butler Center pairs up with and donates to multiple organizations, such as the Home Instead Senior Care and Hope for Miami. On average, more than 1,000 toys and games are donated each season.
Yeah, so Miami has great need, and after COVID-19, you can imagine that the need is even greater for many of our communities that are struggling. And this is an opportunity for many of them to actually receive gifts and donations that maybe otherwise they may not have the means for. And so
donation baskets are located all around campus, with the main drop-off points in Shalala and the Whidden Lower Lounge. The baskets will be around until December 3rd, and if you want to make someone's holiday season merry, make sure to stop by one of the locations to spread holiday cheer.
And speaking of charity, one initiative over the weekend helped raise money and awareness for cancer patients. Our reporter Isabella Morales went to check it out and joins us now live in the studio. What can you tell us, Isabella?
Thanks, guys. Last Sunday, families from Miami Beach came together to fundraise for cancer patients at Nicholas Children's Hospital. I had the chance to speak to one patient and the marathon fundraiser in his honor. Running and raising money for a good cause, families joined together at Belle Isle Park in Miami Beach this past Sunday. Miami native Meredith Mortimer helped organize the event with over 50 participants.
Never done a full marathon before, but I decided I was going to try to do it, and I wanted to use it as a platform to help fundraise for these two families whose children are both fighting cancer.
One of the people battling cancer is Michael Kramer. He is only 20 years old.
I was officially diagnosed with hepatosplenic T-cell lymphoma on August 3rd of 2020, but a few weeks back on July 14th, I was diagnosed with leukemia/lymphoma.
And in the period of an hour, our lives went from my athletic kid that was feeling tired to my kid has cancer.
For over a year now, Michael has been fighting leukemia. And although his fight is not over, the marathon fundraiser motivates him to keep going.
I'm just so thankful for this fundraiser that they're doing. It's such an honor to have people willing to help like that, and it really shows there's so much just good in this world, and when people come together for a good cause, we can really, create good things and help each other.
The event also raised money for 4-year-old India McDonald, who is battling atypical teratoid rhabdoid tumor, also known as ATRT. It also raised $3,000, and organizer Meredith says she plans to have another event sometime in the future.
My heart goes out to them, and I know they're both going through so much. I would do anything I could to help support them and help fundraise.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Isabella Morales.
Well, Michael's story is truly inspiring.
Yeah, it's really great just to see people coming out to show out for this great cause and just to help these really innocent people battling with cancer. But still ahead on NewsVision, an environmental problem growing in South Florida. Tens of thousands of fish have died in Biscayne Bay over the last couple of years. We'll tell you what's happening and what's causing these events when NewsVision returns. Stay with us.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Thank you for staying with us. 3 University of Miami students have come together through their love for music in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Reporter Dave Repka is at the Frost School of Music with the story.
I'm standing right outside a Damn Janice rehearsal session at the Frost School of Music, where these University of Miami students are honing their talents and getting ready for their next big events. While the group has overcome many different challenges, it has only fueled their desire to make great music and brought them together closer as a group. The coronavirus pandemic has without a doubt made life tougher for everyone around the world. But for one group of friends at the University of Miami, it also led to their next adventure.
It started on the fateful March day. Me and James went to Guitar Center, and we had a great time playing, and we knew we wanted to start a band. And then the next week was the week COVID became a big thing, and we were planning like the next week on just getting everyone together, and we couldn't.
Meet Aaron, James, and Mike. Separately, they're 3 students at the University of Miami Frost School of Music. Together, they're known as the band called Damn Janice. What unites them is their love for music.
I just want to make people move like as much as possible.
After months of practicing and meeting over Zoom, the band returned the following spring in person, rehearsing, recording, and performing at various live events.
We're gonna get these songs out. Hopefully people like them. We're gonna get the album out. Hopefully people like it. It's gonna be cool. I love it. And we're gonna keep playing. Now we're just trying to play and have fun.
With 3 studio singles recorded and an upcoming album, the group plans to keep practicing and getting ready for their next event on November 19th. Reporting for UMTV.
Thank you, Dave. King tide season in South Florida is ending after several weeks this fall of higher than normal water levels. The season for these higher tides typically runs from September through November. The most recent series of king tides happened last weekend, leading to flooding in parts of the Miami metro region. Several roads were closed because of water covering them in the downtown area, and other parts of the U.S. East Coast experienced flooding too, including in the Carolinas. In Charleston, several of the high tide cycles peaked at major flood states, shutting down dozens of roads. With sea levels continuing to rise, scientists expect the number of days of coastal flooding to increase.
So some of the highest tides that we see now never used to happen even back then, and it's not that long ago. So it's certainly been changing.
King tides this year have not been as significant as in the past because of the strength of ocean currents and the moon's orbit. The final king tide of the year is predicted for early December.
And staying with the water theme, the jewel in South Florida we call Biscayne Bay is undergoing changes. When people think of it, they think of the beautiful waters that line the coast of Miami-Dade County, but there's an environmental problem in these waters, and scientists are trying to figure out why it's happening. Biscayne Bay, Miami is a popular spot where tens of thousands of tourists and locals come to enjoy the water. But in the summer 2020, it was also the spot where tens of thousands of fish and marine animals from 56 different species died.
The fish kill that we saw in 2020 was the largest fish kill that Miami-Dade has ever experienced. I counted the fish myself. Over 27,000 fish died from last year's fish kill.
And this past summer, another 250 fish washed up dead on the shores of Biscayne Bay. Scientists say the main reason for the mass fish kills is low levels of oxygen in the water, known as hypoxia, that has been worsened by pollution. It's an environmental issue that's drawn the attention of organizations such as the Miami Waterkeeper and scientists from the University of Miami's Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Science.
In the last 2 years, we've had 3 fish kills, 2 last year and 1 this year. So they seem to be happening more frequently. I can't remember, I've been here since 2004, and I can't remember another event in all those years.
The events have only happened in the summer because that's when the water is the warmest.
So when you have the combination of a lot of nutrients already in our bay, along with low winds and a really hot day or hot couple of days, hot water tends to hold less oxygen than cold water. And all of those factors lead to really low oxygen.
Scientists agree that nutrient inputs are one of the main causes for these fish kill events. Concentration of these nutrients is greatest in northern Biscayne Bay because it's narrow and surrounded by land.
There's fewer connections between the bay and the ocean, and there's 4 canals that bring polluted water into the bay.
Besides killing fish and other marine life, these nutrients from fertilizers and leaky septic tanks are also killing seagrass, which is an important food source for marine life. These satellite images taken just 7 years apart show the dramatic decline in seagrass, especially in the region north of the Julia Tuttle Causeway. According to a report from Miami-Dade County, there's been about a 90% decrease in seagrass coverage in this region.
Seagrass is important because it's the base of the food chain, and when they go down, that affects everything that feeds and lives in the higher trophic levels above it.
So what could be done to prevent future fish kill events? Experts say one way to do that is to improve infrastructure.
That's why we have to invest in our water and sewer as well, because when you have old leaky pipes everywhere, something's bound to happen and it's ending in our waterways.
But over to our storm tracker, it looks like there's going to be some storms in the Everglades area tonight, and that might be why we are seeing some clouds and potential rainfall over here in Miami. If we look over onto our bigger picture, the low pressure is drawing in the water, which is why we are seeing some possible rainfall. And if we go into Friday morning, the rain is going to be hitting harder. We are going to be seeing some on and off showers, especially when we get into 9 a.m. That is when the rain is going to be hitting especially hard. But if we move over to later in the evening, the rain should be clearing up a little bit. And then once we get into Saturday morning, we shouldn't be seeing too much rain. The FSU Miami game should be pretty nice if you are staying local. And if we go into Sunday morning, the high pressure system will be making sure we have a beautiful and sunny Sunday. And if we look over to our rain forecast, it does look like we are going to be seeing about a 60% chance of rain on Friday, but that percentage will be decreasing. And by the time we get to Sunday, we should only be seeing about 10% chance of rain. Now looking into our current national temperatures, it looks like we are staying pretty hot here with a 77 degrees in Miami. But if you are planning on going to Rochester this weekend up north, I highly recommend you bring a coat because it is going to be in the high 30s. So be sure that you get prepared for that. But staying pretty local into our Florida temperatures, like we said, this weekend we are going to be staying in the high 60s, which is not as bad as Tallahassee. So if you are planning on going to the FSU Miami game, I highly recommend you bring a coat because for us locals, it's going to be a lot colder. We're going to be hitting the low 40s on Sunday. And that is all we have for tonight, but back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Izzy. It looks pretty chilly for those headed to FSU this week. I hope people pack a heavy coat for the mornings.
I won't be going to Tallahassee, but I do hope we get some cold weather here in Miami. And still to come on NewsVision.
Big homecoming game last week for Canes football as they get ready for their throwdown in Tallahassee this weekend. Plus, one Canes head coach makes history. We'll tell you who it was when we return. Stay with us.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Hello, and welcome to sports. I'm Tyler Walsh. Homecoming week wrapped up last Saturday on a high note as Canes football stung the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Let's take a look at the highlights. Taking you now to Hard Rock Stadium where Miami took on Georgia Tech. Miami offense starting off hot here with 2 touchdowns, but here comes Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets here getting a 71-yard touchdown. He's a runner. He's a track star. That's just devastating for the Canes right there. Miami defense still struggling here next. Doesn't get any better when the Hurricanes drop the ball on the next drive. Looking at that, Georgia Tech takes it to the bank, now tying the game up. Oh, but here comes it. They're going to score it. Nope, just kidding. He knocks it out of the hand. That hurts. That's like a knife to the heart right there. Takes it from the 40 down there. Georgia Tech now has the lead, but soon after the half begins, Jalen Knighton right there takes it into the end zone to get the Canes back up. But look at this here. Gibbs, they're running down the sideline, dodging the Canes. Oh, goodness gracious. Yikes. This isn't looking good for the Canes, but I swear, they're doing better than they look on here. But look at here. Tyler Van Dyke finding Keyshawn Smith right there. Oh, athleticism at its finest right there. Miami takes this game 33-30. And those are your highlights. It's rivalry week for Canes football as they prepare to take on the Florida State Seminoles in Tallahassee. The Canes are looking to win their 5th straight game against FSU. Seminoles just 3-6, on the season and 2-4 in the ACC. And if Florida State loses on Saturday, they will not be bowl eligible for the 2nd straight season. This matchup will also mark the 6th career start for QB Tyler Van Dyke, who is coming off of 3 straight ACC Rookie of the Week awards. The action kicks off Saturday at 3:30 on ESPN. Over on the hardwood now, Canes men's and women's basketball had their home openers on Tuesday at the Watsco Center. Both teams got a victory, but for women's basketball head coach Katie Meyer, it was a special game. She dunked her name in Canes history as the all-time winningest basketball coach. After the Lady Canes beat Jackson State 72-67, Myers was honored with a special ceremony to celebrate her record-setting 304th win as head coach. And after the game, Meyer got emotional about what it meant to achieve this title.
If you have the most anything in the school history as a coach, then you've got the most support. I mean, somebody's behind the scenes when you're not in the room making big time decisions to keep you around or to give you what you think you need to sustain a program. And Miami's done that for me.
From 1988 to 2005. Canes women's basketball will take on Bethune-Cookman tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the Watsco Center. Soon after that game, Canes men's basketball faced the Canisius Golden Knights, and redshirt senior Cameron McGusty led the way with 20 points and 10 rebounds. UMTV reporter Daryl Barnes breaks down the action from Tuesday's game at the Watsco Center.
Charlie Moore opens the scoring.
Basketball is back, and while Tuesday night was the official debut for a couple new Canes, the night was all about fans coming back to the Watsco Center for the first time in almost 2 years.
Felt great, you know, the fans are the reason why we get so energized, get so hyped. It was so different last year. It's a lot easier when you have, you know, people all in the Watsco cheering for you and giving you the energy that you need.
But the fans weren't the only thing to come back for the Canes. Upperclassmen Sam Wardenberg and Rodney Miller both came back from injuries that kept them out for most of last season, and they gave the Canes a big boost in the paint.
Goes to his left.
You know, Rod came in, gave us 3-4 quick buckets. You know, that was great for us. It definitely helps up our offense. Like I said, it gives us the scoring inside that we need to match the scoring that we get from the outside from all of our guards.
Back on Media Day, the team made it clear that winning was the only thing on their mind.
I'm trying to win, as a team, win, make the tournament. If we can win, I feel like, everybody can be in the best situation possible for themselves.
Coach Larinaga said if the team wants to go dancing this year, they'll need their bigs to have more nights like Tuesday.
One of the things we have to be committed to is getting points both inside and outside. Our guards can really score the ball, but we need some inside scoring.
But junior Anthony Walker says the team will need one more thing.
We encourage a lot of our fans to come out and support us because we need that. That's something that aids us in our winning.
Tuesday's game may have been all about fans returning to the Wasco Center, but the team is looking to make this season all about bringing Miami back to March Madness. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Daryl Bonner.
The men's squad will square off against the UCF Knights on Saturday at the Wasco Center. That does it for sports. I'm Tyler Walsh, sending it back to Jackson and Sabrina at the desk.
Well, I'm excited to see some good basketball this weekend.
Yeah, it looks like some great TV to watch. Basketball is back, and it looks like we have a great season coming up. And after the break here on NewsVision, get your dance moves ready for DJ Thursdays at the Rathskeller. Don't go anywhere.
Here are AARP top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
After one dry school year at the Rathskeller, alcohol and weekly events are back this semester by popular demand. Our reporter Bella Papaduke is live at the Rat on campus. Bella, what's going on tonight?
Welcome to DJ Thursdays here at the Rathskeller, UM's on-campus pub. The Rat hosts DJ Thursdays every week from 5 to 7 p.m. with DJ Steve, who is a student on UM's campus. Located right next to the Shalala Student Center, the Rat is the only place on campus that sells alcohol. And last school year, the Rat had to stop selling booze and hosting events because of the pandemic. But this semester marks the return for alcohol sales and live events here at the Rat. They're also now offering glider services from 3:30 p.m. until close on the weekdays, and hopes to bring back happy hour next semester. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Bella Papaduke.
Thanks, Bella. And finally, today is National Sundae Day. How sweet is that? A day that brings all ice cream lovers together. For those sundae lovers, make sure you visit an ice cream shop or maybe make your own at home. An ice cream sundae typically consists of 1 or 2 scoops of ice cream topped with syrup or sauce. The sundae is often topped with whipped cream, maraschino cherries, sprinkles, pineapples, or a variety of other toppings. Wow, I love ice cream.
I mean, this sounds like a great day. Just give me that coffee ice cream, put those chocolate chips on, the whipped cream, and ta-da, you got a nice sundae right there.
Well, thank you for joining us for another. We'll see you again next week for another episode. We will be back for next week for another edition of NewsVision. Until then, have a good night, and to those who have served, thank you.